Okay.
The Cultural Commission meeting for September 9th, 2024 is called to order at 5:30 p.m. Coordinator Moreno, can you please have roll call?
Commissioner Guillet,
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Frazier,
Here.
Commissioner Damiana,
Present.
Commissioner Poser,
Here.
Commissioner Einberg,
Here.
Commissioner Rudnicki.
I would like to go ahead then and move that we accept today's agenda. Does anyone have any additions or alterations? Then I move that we accept the agenda as it is. All in favor, say aye. Oh, second. Moving a little too good. All in favor, say aye. All against, say nay. Motion passes. Do we have any staff announcements for today?
We do, so I'm gonna hand this out, just passing along. This is a first draft of the biennial art plan, so thank you for all of your contributions to making this a reality. Please don't look carefully at edits, I finished it today. So this is a draft of what will be presented to council on September 17th. Which includes all the work you did for 2020, 2023, 2024. So there's a couple pages on the accomplishments of the Cultural Commission, the work you all did in this year, all the way through the summer, the community feedback that you received, and all the community engagement activities, as well as the an outline of what the biennial art plan requirements are and how you met all of them, along with anticipated site selections and projects for 2025-2026, proposed timeline and potential cost of the proposed projects for each year of the biennium. In the current proposed city budget is $15,000 per year. I've identified areas of partnership, areas of potential funding, listed all of your community engagement as required by the plan, and then in the back some sample artwork. So this hopefully will be put in the packet Wednesday night or Thursday morning. So the turnaround is extremely quick. Again, simple edits, I'm gonna have John kind of do a quick look. We didn't have time today, but if you think of anything that's missing or anything additional you want added, please let me know and I'll try to do that quickly. And then Chair Hernandez, you and I should get together and talk about what we want to do in terms of the presentation of this material to council next month.
Okay, and I'll set something up tomorrow that also is.
Okay, perfect. So I just want to say, as I was working with all of the thoughts and ideas you all gave to me, and then putting them in the context of the plan requirements under the public art policy, just want to offer accommodations, kudos. You all did a lot of work that you don't necessarily see unless you see it all on paper. But every meeting of the Duvall Cultural Commission was pretty robust and moved the city closer to having art and additional art projects completed and put up. So it was fun work.
Thank you so much for your hard work.
Yes, exactly. You're part of that, thanks to everyone. Absolutely.
Also, your picture is amazing. Like, really good.
Nice, what is that?
Anything further? Any other announcements?
Just a quick question on the art plan. I wanted to double check. Did we need to talk about any maintenance items? Because again, there's existing art that is not been using.
So if you identify any maintenance requirements, so there is a section here on maintenance. I put in one, let's see, under E, we identified maintenance of the trolls on Woodinville Duvall Slope Bridge, and that project was complete. I said at present, Cultural Commission has not identified any additional immediate needs, but if you think of some, please let me know and I'll include them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think the historic Duvall signs on either end of town, gateway signs, and then also the trellis at McCormick Depot Park have been untreated and kind of left to deteriorate over years.
One of the things that I have kind of been championing since we started is an inventory of all the art that we own, plus its status, its condition.
Yeah.
That way, because I do wanna actually start making sure that we update our stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if that needs to wait until we have that inventory, but that's definitely something I'd like to look into in the future, but shortly.
Yeah. I would say that, I would hate not to have us add it into this version of the plan, considering it's an opportunity as far as
Yeah.
making sure there's some attention put to those items.
For any of the existing art that we have that is on display for the public, I would like that at some point get that put on the website as well.
Is that something we can track down online?
There's already a website that has some of our art that's been maintained by the Mountain to Sound. I can't remember the organization for Mountain to Sound. At one of the meetings, I suggested that, or the meeting where we've had projects, suggested that we use that as a basis to create art. And I would very much like that. So let me start writing some of this down.
So I can add, there's a section here on the goals for the upcoming biennium, and I can add to the goal statement. A current inventory. One of the goals that I already articulated is to update the Mountain to Sounds walking tour.
Oh, okay.
That was articulated, so that's already in here, but current inventory. And then in terms of maintenance, so I wanna make sure I get these, because yeah, right now we're kind of in the moment where we need to get this adopted. So historic Duvall signs at either end of the city, what was the other trellis?
Yeah, so there's the arbor trellis at McCormick and Depot Park, big wood structure, it hasn't been stained since we installed it. There's the 3 era sculptures for Centennial along Stevens as well, also not maintained, and again, budget was always a reason for that for maintenance, is well, we don't have any budget to use it. But they all need to be washed, clean, coated, taken care of.
What's the one on Stevens?
The Centennial sculptures, the era sculptures. So there's 3 separate sculptures, they're all tied together between the
Arrows.
era.
When you go,
Yeah, right.
when you hang a right on Stevens over here at the light, the 3 on the right side of the
Yep.
street.
They're all tied together, yeah, they're all tied together.
Okay,
I'd rather see us put money into maintenance and new art. Because again, we're letting things deteriorate that need to be maintained.
Yeah, so that may actually be something that we wanna just add to our goal, well, you're doing that already with the adding to the goals. Is that inventory for maintenance, which, sorry, I'm duplicating exactly what you're saying.
Do you have any idea already what maintenance costs would look like on those?
I don't, at one point, we talked about maybe having a meeting with the maintenance supervisor and whether or not that was something that the commission needed to do, but I mean. Ballpark, I mean, a couple $1,000 for stains and for stain and labor on the trellis, it's probably very minimal costs on the different metal sculptures and coating them or sealing them,
right.
pressure washing them.
I'll
Something
get exact
similar.
pressure washer.
The signs are one other story, the gateway signs, they have ribbons, they're supposed to be water, I know some of those have been bent and damaged over time, but also the actual face of it needs to be cleaned, at some point they're gonna need to get repainted, refreshed, they were installed in 2009.
I know there's some graffiti in some of those too.
So what I can do, is add those things to the plan. And then it really is up to city council what they're interested in funding, but I can add another line item to the cultural commission budget for maintenance and come up with the public works director what we think an estimated cost is for these projects. Is that?
I'm fine with that. We'll make a motion to give you the direction.
Okay.
But yeah, that would be great, because at least we're doing our part, and then we just wait for city council to decide whether they move forward with it.
Okay. And then, like I said, so kind of within the context of, as I'm working on the preliminary budget presentation to council, which is also on the 17th. We've estimated what we think within the city budget we could devote to public art in both years of the biennium, and so the art projects that you all worked on in the last 2 meetings fit into that proposed budget. Now, I've also identified opportunities for grants, so, you know, should you get grant funding, you know, there's always opportunity to either add more or, you know, take some of the projects that are funded with city dollars and replace them with dollars.
Any further discussion?
There's more I want to add, but this is more than enough to keep us busy for the next year.
If we finish them all by the end of the year, we start looking at other years, so. Alright, in that case, I believe the proper thing would, at this point, would be to, I'd like to move that we accept the biennial art plan, as is with the edits and direction given to, Administrator McNabb, for, for accepting it.
So that,
Second,
I think I second, I'd like to review it.
we could do that if necessary.
Do we want to take 20 minutes to review? Is that okay?
10 minutes.
yeah, no, it's.
Let's go ahead and take 10 minutes to look it over.
I mean, because we are under a fairly tight deadline, so.
Yeah, we should do that.
We get this in council this week.
No problem. I'm just a very trusting person, assuming there's nothing in here for like, you know, about giant death legion.
Wait, we're not funding by giant deaths?
You know, not funny.
No, where you, I will say, so I've added a section on other ideas that are not identified in, the funding, that some of them are more attainable as grant options, so you're gonna see not everything on the proposed timeline and costs, but they are embedded as goals or potential projects within our plan.
I'm quite pleased with the number of times the word giraffe showed up.
We're still on the council now.
Appreciate that, but. I feel like it.
Listen, what else are we gonna have as mascot? Corn?
People are very curious.
Mhm. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I found a picture of the old bridge, made the back page.
We're not a big store.
Yeah, I know, I miss that bookstore. With bike shop it is, used to be, I love the bookstore, so.
Their customer service was unbearable. Like my dad, one time asked for a book, 3 years later they called. Oh, we found your books.
I just went there to get very strange books that.
This is actually really helpful for me.
Thank you.
I don't think it really would matter too much. Did we decide about using Oxbow for business kind of fairs and King County Library System for book bench project? Should we be more open to anybody? I mean, we haven't really
Well,
walked through all that yet.
what it asks for is potential, what is the language? Identification of opportunities for collaboration, so,
So it could be anybody.
it could be, these are the ones that I kind of thought of and identified as I was writing this weekend, but it really could be
It doesn't
anyone.
lock us into it.
No. I just kind of picked area, organizations that I knew would have some interest or expertise in the project. For instance, like KCLS, their friend group has so many donated books that they would easily probably give to the, to the project that they can't resell. And I believe there's an entire warehouse in Preston full of books.
I'd really love to see people bring their favorite book.
That would be cute too.
Yeah.
Do we have any ideas for how to weather seal it?
Doesn't necessarily have to be on for books either, but that does honor the original, but yeah, that was the original one was a little bit cumbersome to move around.
Well, and I put a healthy budget attached to that project, anticipating probably less so on the books and more so on how to create a hard service that stand up to weather.
I just completed the horticulture grant for DFA.
I just completed 2 culture grants with Rita's help last week.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of work. Look how like members of the audience might. And actually, as I was going through and researching what to put in, I found some exciting grant opportunities with like the Paul Allen Foundation, like there are other untapped sources. I don't, our projects may not be big enough to get the attention of some of the grant agencies, but it's certainly worth it.
I'm still surprised at how many people want water features.
A lot of people want water features and they're extremely expensive. So I will say at the Big Rock ball field, it's in pre-design right now, the expansion Big Rock, it does. The proposed pre-design does have some water features associated with it, so we know the community wants water features.
Community wants a pool.
I will say that there are cities like Sammamish that have far greater resources in the city of Duvall that struggle with financing and maintaining it.
If you'd like pool resources nearby, just ask me. I've been no
That's all the
deep in
research.
all the research on that. Are we ready to go? Any further discussion on we reviewed it? Other than what we had already. No. All right, then I'm gonna make a motion to accept the biennial plan, including any edits necessary and suggestions given to administrator right now. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. All against, say nay. Motion passes. Thank you for the awesome.
You're welcome.
So the next segment is public comments. And we have, obviously, we have some public comments there. Oh, the approval of minutes.
We don't have the minutes until later this month.
Oh, yeah, we don't have the minutes till next week. Is there any public comment for today?
We're actually part of it.
The agenda, okay, I wanted to double check, I wasn't sure if he was part of that as well.
He is.
Cool. In that case, we will move to the next segment of new business, which is the red pepper mural. With Barna Bussing, if you can just. Go to the podium, or whoever is planning. Or
Well, these guys are the artists, so.
Well, we're actually the ones guiding the artist, the actual artist isn't here.
Do you have a presentation for us or anything, or, I'm sorry, you have like a presentation for us?
They didn't.
We actually don't have, we can discuss it, we just wanted to, did anybody get a chance to review?
I did, okay. I did, okay.
Director Thomas, I'm sorry, submitted this prior to the meeting, so I'll just run through the slide with you, and then if you would like to
Yeah,
come
I
up
looked
and
through
talk
it
about
last night, so. But we have a presentation,
Yes.
I should have asked first.
it. So why are we here? So the sign code changes, charges the cultural commission and the planning director with approving murals on public and private property. So down here is what the code says. It's kind of small, I know.
I can read it if you want me to. Do you all want, can you see it or?
I'm sorry.
I can.
I couldn't even walk.
I have my glasses, I agree.
Okay.
Next slide.
So just under B as for members of the community, if we go back one. So if the cultural commission approves the rendering of the painting tonight, just a reminder that a sign permit will be required for putting the mural up by the business. So following that, just working with our planning department to get a sign permits.
Yeah, we submitted the application to seat sign,
Right.
so.
Okay, so here is the location of the mural. It's the rendering of the mural that's on the building.
On the bright red building.
Mhm.
Well. Opera.
Yeah. But if you look through here, it has different colors, like they're interesting. And what we did right here is we did the old one, like this, the steamboat is, you know, yeah, we tried to do about the 1900s where the steamboat came through. And the train came through 3 times a day, because we talked with the historical society on it. And so what we're trying to do more of an historical, well, we are historical mural. Well, we don't have one of those in Duvall. So,
And the train.
and this is like, because this was known for, you know, we were known for the underground, so that's there. And this is. It's a sphere. Is that the earth? Is that? You know, these guys were working on. They've actually been, you know.
Yeah, we have to with those bathrooms.
Okay, so the reason why, it's because it's not gonna be black and white, that's gonna have color.
Yeah.
You know, and with that red building, I don't know, yeah, you know, well,
I was wondering.
it's gonna have a frame around it too.
Yeah.
But this definitely will go.
Yeah.
You know, so we. Yeah, and another thing we were thinking is, because there's no murals in town where people can actually stand by and take pictures, selfies, which people love.
They do.
So, you know, and again, we're trying to, do the historical people, and we're, you know, kind of doing the time inside our restaurant too, because we're doing. We're kind of changing the whole, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which I mean.
And and per that code, there isn't any specific signage for red pepper on that.
Yeah, one of the things in talking to the city for many years off and on, because that's a big wall, it's just there, kind of ugly, right? It's just so big. And they didn't want anything that had to do with pizza or whatever kind of food you would have at the time before you started working that way. And so, yeah, I was really trying to enhance Duvall with the history of it.
Is it gonna be more like this one, the colored version, or is it gonna be more like?
No, it's gonna be, okay, so that's why it says right here, these are the
Not the sketch
colors.
code. Got it.
Yeah, the
Okay.
colors, and then,
It's gonna be more like this.
and it's gonna be on a big scale, so you're gonna see right here where you see the pictures, there's the steamboat.
I'm also this one's flat prints.
Oh, really?
It's last sailing.
And yeah, that's what this color is, and then here's the old Duvall. I think my building is one of the first ones that was built on Main Street. A lot of them were moved from the river, right? So.
I like.
Administrator.
It's
Yeah,
just,
it's
One
not,
it's not too busy, and
it's
it's
not, it's a match with the right.
there was some fun with Bigfoot.
Administrator.
It's kind of fun.
For the community members, I do wanna let you know that, we do have a mural going up in Person, Virginia, which will capture not completely the same concept. It also has some historical context to it. It's more of one of those Instagram signs that say like greetings from Duvall. And so it's Duvall through the ages, so this will pair nicely with it, but I do wanna let you know, yours will not be the only mural. But it actually might be a good thing because people like to take pictures, so it might be part of a walking tour eventually of people.
I'm good with that, and again, that big wall is just, I think it adds so much, and I know this lot right here, I know the owner. I've been trying to buy that lot for 30 years. He is not going to sell it, he's going to pass it down to his daughter. So this lot is going to be here for quite some time.
Yeah.
And not built on.
Is this a tiny piece, slice of pizza in Sasquatch's hand?
Yes.
I think he
Yes, it is.
I can do some,
Like
do some fire.
My day job is overviewing and approving.
I just, and so you see it's a map of Duvall and it goes through the Swanee Valley. And then there's the compass or the.
So the,
Yeah, no, we spend a lot of time, like, with the historical society and stuff.
So the color rendering is just to give you an idea of the colors, but the black and white is very close to the design. There will be more detail put into it, the artist,
Yeah.
just for time's savings. This is just a rough render.
Well, yeah, because, you know, like the buildings, there'll be more detail in the building and that's and that, yeah.
And
Yeah, well, this is what the artist is, so there was, you know.
so and also the train that I chose here is actually accurate because the climax trains were relatively running with the hills. This type of train here was just your standard blah, blah, blah train. This is exactly a choo-choo train. This is actually a
Can we
train.
take one pause for just 1 minute? So this is being recorded and folks can go back and watch. We wanna make sure that we're not talking over each other, so you look at it. Okay. No, it's fine. I just wanna let you know that because we're recording it, we wanna make sure that folks watching this for public record can hear the conversations.
So do you have any questions for us?
No, I do have a comment on it, or actually I do have a question actually for Administrator Buchanan. Whether or not that pizza slice would count as a commercial. I mean, it's just a pizza slice, it doesn't say red pepper on it.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I would meet that commercial speech. I don't think it would.
Well, and when I was talking to the city some time ago and I had a cafe there, they said, hey, you can have, you know, like a cafe table with people drinking coffee, because I had an espresso. It's just as long as you don't put, you know. the
Commercial
word in
speech.
there, But you can have people, and this is such a small, I mean, they're gonna put a big table. That was some time ago, but when talking to them again, it sounded identical to when I was talking to them like almost 20 years ago. There's not a whole lot of murals, so.
And our code hasn't changed significantly from 20 years ago either.
I think that slice is just kind of fun.
Yeah, fine.
And it is this,
My only other real comment on that is that, which has been broached, is that this would sort of, I wouldn't say, compete is the wrong word with our First in Virginia project. However, if we add this to a walk, I don't see any problem at all, like. You know, we add this to that inventory and then we add to that, I don't see a problem with that at all. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna conflict at all with your projects we've got going on.
Those were my only two comments.
So when-
Does anyone else have any comments?
Question, is this going to be the placement?
somewhere around there, you know, I mean, but we're here to talk to you, right? But, yeah, and that's my other thing, and, it's somewhere in that range,
So it's gonna be mounted on hardy board, which is a cement board.
Yeah.
And so it's very good, durable, it's gonna last a long time, and it's gonna be painted in situ. We discussed painting it in pieces and mounting it, that it was just better just to put everything up and then just have the artist go out.
so that'd be kind of cool while she's doing that too.
Any
And
further-
she's done other murals and like
Any further discussion?
Would you have any objection to the city taking some photos during the painting process?
Oh, no, I love it. We're all about community, so,
What would the timeframe be? You think if
you got guests?
Real soon.
yeah.
We're talking-
This is why I'm glad we're meeting now, because Melanie in Public Works told me once a month, I'm like, oh, we need to get on it because the weather.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Or
so,
the same thing.
yeah,
So
we're
we're talking
at
4 weeks, maybe 6.
with the detail. I think it's exciting for the downtown.
So we just need to approve or just, or vote up or down the concept and then it moves on to this permitting process?
I just have one comment that I think with the subtlety of these colors and the design, that it could complement the First in Virginia mural. If First in Virginia is not too overwhelming with color and things like that, so this is great.
Yeah, we didn't want to do too much of the color, isn't it too? Kind of losing.
Don't see the city.
So has the mural in Virginia been shared with the public yet?
No, so we have the score sheets and that's on the agenda for tonight. It's finishing up the cultural commission to score the 5 proposals that have been submitted for First in Virginia. And so once the cultural commission scores that project, then we'll select the finalists and share the proposal, although if you go to the cultural commission, all of the commission notes, including all the proposals, are open to the public on the city's websites to be able to see all the proposals that were submitted for that project.
Just
Yeah.
that we weren't aware of it.
Yeah, they're beautiful, beautiful
Yeah.
proposals.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
we've got this. We put up the call for artists, but if it's not something you're actually looking for, it's probably not something.
So First in Virginia,
Oh, there's a large retaining wall there that is bare at the moment.
gotcha, the change.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And we'll have,
That would be great,
and we'll have more information. on that
yeah,
when
that'll be
it's
great, because it's just going to be. Yeah,
Well,
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
We need some color over there.
It's an exciting project, so the project is designed to have an artist sketch and design a large section of the wall, but leave it as a paint by number. And then we're gonna have a community day to come in and paint sections of that mural.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's an exciting project.
Yeah.
Any further discussion?
This wasn't on the agenda, but it has to do with the building. Do we need cultural, the approval for anything that we put on top of our building?
Yes, potentially, but that's a separate conversation with our planning.
Let's finish this one. About it.
Yeah, all signage, monuments, and anything that is affixed to a building would potentially need approval from the planning commission, which is slightly different than artwork. So go through Laura.
This is art.
I think if it's in the right of way on a building.
It's not on the right of way.
I would still connect with our planning director.
It'll be on the roof.
I'll talk to public, I'll talk to everyone.
Yeah, talk to Laura.
I kind of understand that.
Yeah.
Straighten their minds.
Any further discussion on the issue? No. Then I move that we accept the design as is for forwarding to the planning commission.
No, the planning commission doesn't need to approve it. With this, for this kind of artwork, only the planning director and the cultural commission needs to approve a mural.
Okay, and we've
So
already
this is
done
the last step.
last step, okay. And I would go ahead and move to accept the design as is with no changes.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you,
All
guys.
against, say nay. All against, say nay. Just making sure. Motion passes.
I'm excited.
You think maybe written that thing or something?
How's that?
They need something.
In other words, this.
Is this-
media did
Or a stamp up form or anything?
No, you do not need to step up. All you need to do is document them in the minutes.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
You're done.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for your patience on that one. And thank you all for offering me, for coming to us with that.
If you want to see, we're talking about your new murals, so.
Which we will be talking about the first in Virginia here.
I'll tell you.
All right, next agenda item is first in Virginia, mural for whole business. Do we have anything from staff on that?
No, just a reminder, and I believe almost everybody has gotten their forms and we've got a fifth submittal. So just make sure that you score the fifth submittal, I think it's worth your consideration. It's absolutely adorable. So if you haven't scored those, oh, did you tabulate them as well?
No,
Oh, okay,
just because we haven't had it for everybody's.
okay.
But I made copies of all of the submissions just for review. I don't know if they're ready.
So if we could take the time tonight to score everything, if we haven't scored them. Because we're on a pretty tight deadline with this project, we wanna try to get the artist selected this week.
Yeah.
Because weather is coming.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
If you want to, then follow yours then.
Yeah, we've already seen it, so.
I was sitting there doing the rubrics and thinking, oh, I like this artist's colors, or color choices, and I love this artist's design choices. And then we got that submission that was basically a perfect compromise.
Yeah.
My only thought, or my one question I had about that was whether that artist saw the other artist submissions, because it came in so much later. And after we'd done our first round, that was my one hesitation concern is, did they have the opportunity to see the other submittals?
They contacted us before the application period closed, and then we were able to tell them it got extended, so they had shown interest in creating a proposal prior to the rest of the proposals being made public. They just benefited, they didn't submit it prior, so they benefited from a little more time potentially.
And potentially reviewing the other submittals.
Potentially, but they had called Rita ahead of the other proposals they made public.
Yes.
I'm not too worried that they were plagiarizing it.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried.
Yeah, that's my one concern, give fairness, again, often we, in lots of other arenas, we not accept them later or after other submissions have been accepted, especially once they've been made public. So that is a big concern, I'll tell you right off the bat, that was my favorite one, no doubt about it, but again, I think that we kind of run into that little scenario.
My concern would have been if they come in after the submission deadline.
Yeah.
Before it's open season for us. The only reason that we voted early on though is because we were trying to leave. Because we did that, we had to see the early wait meeting that the public had to.
Well, the date was extended between meetings, so we also didn't know it was extended until we got the meeting. So there was a little bit of both, so I think one thing I would recommend is that we should change the process improvement, if we should not put submissions in a packet until we're coming to a big decision.
Yeah, that's a good feedback.
That is fair, that is fair. Any further discussion on this?
I don't know, Rita, do you wanna offer, they had called a couple times, correct?
Yes, yeah, they called a handful of times just to make sure that we were still accepting applications. They called once it was extended, so there was maybe 4 phone calls prior to the deadline.
So I totally get it, I mean, I've had bidders call me and talk to me every day and then not submit a
Not
bid.
submitted at all.
That's
So,
what
I
I'm
totally
thinking
know.
is gonna
I
happen.
totally get it, but I've also rejected people, because they were 1 minute late on the bid, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a plea for, certainly for our public.
Yeah, this one came in before the deadline, day of, but before, so, yeah.
Again, I think if we can resolve that one.
Yeah, that's
We've done our, what we can do.
resolve that issue today or resolve in the future, in the future.
In the future, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. Any further discussion on the first Virginia murals? No? Please get those in. Oh,
I do wanna ask, so we will score them, bring them. So I guess my question is, does this group want to see any finalists, or should we score them and select the submittal with the highest score? So I guess the question I have for the commission is, do you want us to come back again and vote them, or do you wanna leave it to the city to move ahead with the highest scored proposal?
I'm of 2 minds on that, simply because if we leave it to the city, we don't actually have final approval on that from the council. But at the same time, time is ticking away. That's how big this time of thinking.
Two things. First, I think, can we just all agree this evening?
That's my first question. My second concern is that because there was that late uh, submission, thank you. When I was scoring, I think on my first four, I scored the last category of points out of 50. But then on the last one, I did it out of 25 because it was slightly ambiguous to me and that last section there, right? There were two categories, one was a pass fail. And on one section on the left, it said points out of 25 and then or maybe points out of 50, and then across it said points out of 25. And I could be misremembering it wrong, but I feared that I gave that one a lower number score because I tallied everything up. But I should have added another 25 points to that. So it might have looked like my lowest score when in fact it was.
Well, we can tally them really quickly if we want to. Try to vote this tonight.
Who, if you don't mind me asking, who hasn't done the rubrics yet? Is it?
No, I did my, now that you mentioned, I realized what I did something wrong. I can I can mark them all. Cause I went 1 through 5.
Which is another reason to vote.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, we can take a look, figure out what the top 3 is, bringing them up on the screen, and how about you all vote on a finalist?
I think that would work best,
Okay.
I wouldn't mind a little maybe discussion too.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, we'll discuss it.
I mean, they're all so great, you know. And is it?
The majority is not always right.
I found it was hard though with some of them, because some of the works, like the previous works. There will be something that will, yes, and then another thing that I would look at, ooh, no.
I mean,
I don't want anything that's all like that.
that's the thing.
I'm of two minds because I have a quick favorite, I have one that I want. But one of the other ones had an idea that I absolutely loved.
And do you have that packet, Rita, of all of the proposals? It'll get a little easier.
No one from the last meeting.
No, the one you were just handing out to everyone.
I didn't make copies for everybody, I did 3 of each.
Rita must think I'm winning me, because I scored on a high score 3 to 5. Cause I just went 1 through 5, I was like, oh yeah, that's 2, that's 5, 4.
I was doing 1, 2, 3, 4 for a while. I did sound bad.
I didn't realize that I hit the points for pass fail. They were all 4 to 5, so it's like a difference of 8 points between all the ones that are hitting that.
I can just do this all over again right now.
Oh, I meant for me.
Oh, shoot, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
By the way, I appreciate y'all doing this at the last minute as well, to get that time done.
Well, I'm sure you guys would be similar, there's, if we move forward with one person and a person, there's little tweaks that I think we would suggest, and it would be probably pertinent to get in on.
Yeah. We would still, we're not just going to give it to them for pledge, there's something we don't like, we have.
Right. You guys wanna?
As long as well scored consistently lower, consistently high, it should wash out.
It should average.
It should average.
Sure, okay.
I definitely consistent. It's not intentional.
You're just me.
Yeah. Somebody has to be there.
Oh, I see Commissioner Tozer's, yes.
I want to recalculate those.
Well, as long as you see rubric throughout, it'll average out.
Problem.
Okay.
And to be fair, I did that way too, and I realized, oh, wait, no, it's the other way.
So you got to do an idea in the meeting for it to hear.
I'll be honest, I'm very partial to going home and working on it, but at the same time, this one needs to get done quickly because of the weather.
Maybe it's next week.
Let's see it.
You need a phone, I got it.
Yeah.
And again, thanks for this,
Oh, yeah.
it was
of
super
course.
appreciated. Especially at the last minute. Now would also be a good time to review the call for students.
Oh, yeah, go ahead while I'm doing that. Well, it's already out. So it's just more showing you all what, because remember last meeting, you gave me a couple edits, and I edited it, sent it out. Thank you. One without a name.
The one about the art, the three art picture, rumble, you mean?
And let's see if I can, by process of elimination, figure out who it is.
Mine should also JCH, I don't have.
I don't think I put mine in. No, I think it's missing an artist's name.
Yeah.
Oh.
Might be mine.
Okay, do we have any of the fifth ones that have not been scored? Is I am missing score sheets for the final.
I sent mine in a Word document.
We do. Did anyone want to? Okay, so
Other than
we can-
Councilmember Bernicki, so I'm missing 4 or 3 for final.
Do you have mine? Because if not, I should have it in my email and I can just give it to you.
So who I received? I received Commissioner Ibergs.
Yeah.
For the 5th.
Here's
Okay. Okay. All right, I need 2 more.
who else emailed?
Not for me, there's no points in between, I might have done it differently.
That won't ever get. I mean, it kind of will, but really reduces the.
This is handwriting,
That's fine.
okay,
I could also do it again really quickly.
this
Right.
handwriting,
One second.
I have brain use for you.
okay.
At least for me, I think a lot of our stuff might come out of discussion. I'm kind of torn between two, though.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I need one more for, I think I just don't have Commissioner Hernandez's for.
I have it right here. I have it right here.
Okay, you see the number?
It was total 7.
Okay.
All right, well, it's that's me, ways to work with.
And so again, on mine, for the fifth submission, I worry that it's 25 points short. Compared to my others.
There's only one that is significantly less, which is Commissioner Tozer's consistent with how he scored all of them.
You want me to revise it
No,
for the purposes of?
I mean, it'll come out.
Should. Should.
Third, fourth, fifth.
Math is bad. That's for me, which all math is bad.
All for student muralists has already been dispensed to the schools.
Yes.
It has, so I wrote to both principals and 4 art teachers, and then it should have been posted on the city's social media as well. Okay. So the top 3 finalists are Brenda Choi, JB, who is, yes, John Bosch, and SA. Stacy. Or no, I'm talking.
Yeah, thank you.
That team ordinance.
Do I have all 5?
Oh, good.
So, so Brenda Choi, John Bosch,
She was the number 5, right?
yes, and I don't know that I have Stacy's.
Here's one, one of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like team version of that, right?
Yeah, the 3 artists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could I see the John Bosch one? Should we start at the top with Brenda's and we put it up on the screen?
Yeah.
Yes. We should probably just go through them all 3, like take a look at them, discuss them, and then we will vote versus voting, bring that back to it.
Okay.
It's okay.
Sorry.
We're just waiting to see the, okay, I want to double check.
Working on it. I only practiced one share screen today.
No problem. Just wanted to make sure there was nothing I was missing.
Thanks, everybody, for working late on this, I really think it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this knocked out.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Do you wanna just get to the mural itself or?
Yeah, just so we know who's doing what murals.
For examples.
There it is.
Here we go.
That would be the Brenda Choi one. I'm not the biggest fan of the color palette. I absolutely love the idea of the handprints of the home.
Me too.
That definitely is something that I would love. But again, the color palette doesn't.
No.
It makes me crazy.
I do everything.
There's so many more.
It's like great orange juice.
So I don't think that there's gonna be stuff on there, right?
Can you go
Yeah,
back a
if
step?
you go back a slide, yeah.
You had a question, Wendy?
Yeah, my question was, I think the artist may have interpreted that there's supposed to be an outline of the design because the community is gonna have the inside of the outline, right? So maybe that's why they aren't colored in.
If you look at the concept, speaking as a cartoonist, the top one is just a sketch, whereas the letter D mockup will show you how they plan to finish it.
And she has her palette. What I don't like for her concept is many of the others had in the background an actual map with like the river, right? So it really put you in the place. And I would like to see something like that.
I really like the river, and it's a big part of Duvall, but at the same time, the river everywhere.
It's because sometimes the river is there.
We have a map on the red pepper mural, so.
Yeah. So we can get a little artsy with this.
And I do love the handprints. But yeah, I think
Yeah,
maybe some more
palettes.
I would suggest for voting that we vote kind of the same way we vote on,
Like a
city council, appointments, which is you will each have 3 votes, you can choose how you want to put your votes, you can put all 3 in one concept, or you can spread your votes out. That way you each kind of have a similar, weight for how you want to exercise your 3 options.
makes sense. I also think this artist has some good experience and I think she would be able to deliver. And she seems excited about the project.
Any further discussion?
Just if we went further on this one, I think kind of what I'd like to see a little bit. When I dress bananas in the vegetable parade, I'd like to see it more of like a Duvall days, and actually, something I think we're actually we completely missed the mark on is even like the Sapo horses or some of that theme somewhere in there, that's like such a huge part of
It really is.
Duvall days, so I think I'd like to see something. Over there, maybe doesn't have to completely replace the vegetable and stuff, but I think.
Oh, I was gonna say, there's a good chance that we'll probably be able to just suggest ideas for the artist to try
Exactly.
with our acceptance.
My one critique is, we'd ask for something that kind of nods to the local, indigenous culture before the rest of us got here. It'd be nice to see that in one of the letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really think we need the Duvall grill, like, it's a lights, but I think we would be better off with something indigenous there.
Again, ideas we can send along if they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm 100% behind that as well.
And get that history in there, you know, the railroads there, but.
History goes back farther.
Yeah.
Yeah, but history, like getting that history thing was kind of a problem with the whole thing. Not a lot of people actually
Yeah, not a lot of people.
did like
That part of it.
through the time, like it's either all historic or it's all current, kind of what is here, or what's happened in the past 5-10 years.
But someone mentioned, one of the artists mentioned, like the geologic time, and I was like, oh.
Anything further for this one? No, let's go ahead and go to the next one then.
I like that.
Ooh, no, thank you. I'm having a good hair day, so if you do this one.
Hate it.
Will be John Bodge.
Top three, that's correct.
And then we do a matrix clip on that. There it is. I'm not gonna lie, this is my favorite design. It's dynamic, it's straightforward. I really enjoy it. As to the indigenous thing, we can definitely ask him to add something into the deed because he's already gone back to the nature park. I love this design. But I'm also a big comic book fan. Yeah, open discussion.
So the design is good, as a graphic designer, I don't like his font choice, I think it's too blocky and doesn't read well from a distance. But my big concern is he listed his materials as high-end acrylic spray paint. And one of the goals with this project is to use something approachable and have the community contribute to it, which I don't know if he spec'd this out with that in mind.
Any further?
Yeah.
This, the thing that I really liked about Brenda is, that this doesn't really have this perspective. The wall is long, and this is a kind of shorter one, so. As much as I love the giraffe, it is not historic really.
Future.
Oh, right, our future, they're wrap over.
Oh my gosh.
I do love it.
Can't wait till those go back and touch it, they're delicious.
I do love that nearly everyone submitted the piano job.
Yeah.
That is nice, it is one of the more iconic things about Duvall, and it does speak to our history as our weird.
I'd love to see the giraffe on the boat.
You scroll down to the, is the D on that same page, you see the, like the detailed version, I think it's on the same page. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I love that.
Yeah.
I just like it outside of the frame in that specific way, like it's outside the frame, the other side, but in the D, it just.
Just worried that the palette's gonna be a little too cool and dark, considering how cool and dark Duvall is throughout the year.
Yeah. I don't wanna say anything, cause this isn't quite to my taste, so.
That's something you can say.
It's very much the DuckTales D.
Yeah.
Oh, now I can't unsee that.
Oh my gosh, it is.
It was grungy, right? Which in my mind is kinda, you know.
Not timeless.
Yeah, I do like his work, he's got a
Oh,
beautiful
yeah.
mural over in Monroe, I'm
It's just
not
not
as
like-
hot on this one as I am on some of the others. I think that's.
Anything
It
further?
is beautiful.
All right, and then the final one.
That's good work. Very good.
Thank you.
Who was the first one to see?
Brenda Choi.
Personal opinion, I'm not a fan. I'm not. Okay.
I like the impressionist style.
I don't want to feel about it.
Yeah,
The color palette's just a little all over the place, and
It is.
font choice for me. It looks very, very, very 50s, which is very dated.
I would say like early 70s personally, but. I do like that it's long and it's going to fit the space a lot better. And like I said, I love the impressionist choices to go inside the letters. It just doesn't feel as unified as the other two
Yeah.
do.
Also, it's the only one that gave us indigenous
That is true.
There is that, yeah,
bit. And is actually historic through the years.
you're true.
Though I'm not sure how much, what happened in 1968 or rock concept.
Oh, that was the piano drop as well.
Oh,
And piano drop was done at basically what the 1968 version of Summer Stage.
I actually like
Yeah,
the
so much
colors
better.
on this one. I think that the V and the A go a little kind of off the rails, but that can blend in. What I don't like is the lack of sharp focus on the objects.
And there's no real flow in.
Yeah, I
the layout.
really want, especially because it is so rainy and dark so much of the time, that I wanna look at something and not feel like it's been washed out.
yeah, there's no outlines, which is causing it to kind of muddle together and make it, yeah.
Yeah, I think any individual one of these would be a great art piece around town.
My issue is that every single one of the panels looks like it's through a fisheye lens.
I like that though.
Yeah. Again,
Yeah.
that underwater thing.
As a style, I think it's interesting that it's not necessarily my thing, right?
So I did not create a matrix, but if you would each take a piece of paper, or, you know, rip off the back page of your agenda. And, you have 3 votes, and you can just list how you want your 3 votes to be distributed, we'll tabulate them.
And it has to be, you know, really just discussed.
Yes, those were the top 3 finalists.
Bosch was the second?
Yes.
They want to see the data.
Oh, yeah, I'm waiting for her so I can ask it.
Oh, yes.
Is it in?
Please, we tend to at city council do it that way, so people aren't. So if Commissioner Choser votes, then people aren't, either piling on, or discounting the first of those votes.
Oh, okay.
So that's how we do it.
Oops. I'll answer finally, right? Both been very vocal today.
Let's see, everybody resubmit for Living Wrap or another installation like that, honestly. Cause we got some good artists.
Yeah, Bosch.
Yeah, and it's really very good, so it's my piece of.
Oh, yeah.
That was.
Fun to have you.
What was the?
The utility rooms?
We have to find it.
We have to find it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll say yes.
Honor tradition of voting regularly.
These, okay, so this won't work, so the way it works for this last one is you have 3 votes and you place your 3 votes on. You can place, do you want one on each candidate?
That's just my order of selection.
So that's
So-
not how this
That's
is
not,
voting.
that's not what I did, right?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
So you have 3 votes.
You get 3 stickers, but it's 3 days.
So you can put them all on one person, you can distribute them to.
Three moves to one,
each
one.
person.
Okay.
Yeah.
You only get 3 votes.
Three total votes that you can spread between any of the votes that you. So if you really like one, you put 2, that's 1, or 1.
Three of one person.
Zero.
So how many votes for 2 for this?
Yeah.
Okay. What was her first name? Choi?
Brenda Joy.
Brenda Choi is the prevailing artist. So I'll contact her. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
And do we need to vote up to accept her approval or her submission, or is it just the vote was what all we needed?
Well, that's, so because you have a scoring rubric and when you voted to approve the call for artists, that was the manner in which we would select.
Okay. In that case, what we might want to do eventually is when we do contact her, if she accepts, come up with a list of suggestions depending on her art, and if we have some. Then we can say, okay, you got it. Here's here's some notes.
Yes.
Well, and I took a couple notes, add to the letter D, indigenous, an indigenous event, and there was another suggestion,
There's more history.
yeah.
And adding Duvall days.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
Get rid of vegetables with Duvall days.
I would, yeah, on the D and Duvall part, I think, one of the reasons I like that one in part is the clock in that scene setting also, so I also would be a little leery to go too far away from that, so maybe if there's an alternate or something, I don't
We
know.
did put the clock into a Duvall days scene. It's a very, pardon the expression, it would be a very timely
There you go.
composition.
That one, it just feels like a nice anchor on that side, like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, it just, I don't know, I think that would, like, changing that would could completely change that.
we could ask her
It might not.
just suggest choosing an element and maybe replacing it with like in something indigenous.
Or something in nature.
We go with both.
Yeah, I do really love that one.
And then vegetable parade suggests
Duvall days.
Duvall days. Is there an iconic image from Duvall days? So the vegetable parade is pretty iconic in that it's people dress up as vegetables.
I think vegetable parade personally.
Yes.
But Duvall days, a lot of things that were really iconic about it were the
Oh, the horses,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
what
the parade in general, but the horses specifically, are probably the most.
With all the
iconic.
trees.
Okay,
And perhaps we should couch this as suggestions versus directives for them.
Well,
well, the history, I mean, it wasn't an important element of the Duvall through the ages, is finding some way to incorporate something from the earliest days, so.
there are two levels.
But we can, we'll send suggestions and see what she comes up with.
And it's Duvall days is celebrating like 45 years or something, coming out.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, they'll nod that, vegetable place is like 6 years.
You had a comment?
Oh, yeah, could I also suggest the lantern parade?
Lantern parade.
You're gonna have to elaborate.
I don't know.
No, there's a lantern version where you guys. Lanterns you pull them. Okay,
There's
I know
no
that.
collect lanterns.
It's beautiful.
Sense. I've only ever heard it, I've never actually been out.
Do you collect monsters? So, for my college, we'll go.
We're talking about so much this meeting, one more is not gonna hurt thing.
It's
Always has their own.
With a giraffe.
That's a good place to put the during.
Anything further?
Have it hiding behind it.
Yeah, It was one hour, like the show horses doing their dance and one of them is a giraffe.
Anything further on the first in Virginia? Alright, then let's go ahead and move on to call for student artists, Duvall Markets, which I believe is just, let's look it over and familiarize yourself with it. If there's any discussion on this right now, because we've already really accepted it, sent it out.
if you know students,
I will be.
please encourage them to submit.
Send everyone I know,
That's great.
not that they'll necessarily depend on.
Something kids these days.
And we did hear back from the principal of Cedar Crest, who's going to include it, they have some weekly communication with families, so they're gonna include it.
Yeah, we've already gotten some emails this afternoon.
Oh, awesome. Fantastic.
And the birds of the valley is already got subject.
Yes.
Anything further? No, then we are moving on to good of the order. Does anyone have any good of the order?
Commissioner Ye and I will be out at the end of October. I can't remember if it's the last meeting in October or the first meeting in November.
I don't think it's either.
No?
I think we might be quarantined. Just because getting back from Mexico, on that Monday, second Monday, but. Yeah. I think we should.
It's not good at the order, but I forgot to ask, can I get maybe 20 copies of this to put up in my neighborhood? Like at the mailboxes?
Oh, the call for artists and
Yes.
students? Yeah, if you swing by City Hall, we can have some ready for you at front desk.
I would love it. Thank you.
And as for absences, I may or may not be here at the next meeting. I have an appointment in Seattle. And I'm having to drive to Seattle to Duvall, and hopefully we'll make it here on time, but traffic. Anything further? No, then I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 6:54 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes.
6:54 p.m. Thanks for coming. I appreciate all the last minute stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Just to get this